My name's Laura Horowitz, and I'm the co-founder of We Stories. I want to share with you today what I've learned after working with hundreds upon hundreds of white families about what equity education actually looks like for white kids and families in particular, and why it matters. One of the biggest myths I've heard about the purposes of conversations about racism is that the goal is to identify good and bad white people, to assign blame and guilt, or to absolve oneself of those feelings by reading all the right books and saying all the right things, becoming the perfect social justice warrior. And nothing could be further from the truth in my experience. Many white parents that I know want their children to become kind people who embrace diversity and simply don't know how to start because they never had conversations about race when they were growing up in their families. And that's the purpose of We Stories, is to equip and build community among parents who want to start and strengthen conversations with their young children about race. While I strongly oppose this bill, I can see how it taps into something very real that many white parents are worried about, which is if I enter into a conversation about race, what will happen? How will I feel? Will I be made to feel bad or stupid or shamed? Too many of us have had experiences with conversations about race that have gone poorly, that have strained relationships with our friends and family, or resulted in social media flame wars or great news clips about those lunatics on the other side. But we don't talk enough about what happens when they go well. And what I see in this bill is that fear writ large, that white parents and children might encounter ideas that challenge them. And then what? What would happen? What is so fearful about that? So I want to share the stories that I don't think are shared about the positive effects, about what comes after discomfort, because that's where all learning happens. And it makes us feel more whole and better citizens and in community. And I brought a ton of books here today because I always told our parents at the beginning of the program, give yourself license to learn. And my ask to you is the same. Before you legislate anything, step away from the talking points, pick up a book with a character of color as the protagonist, have your own experience, and do not take that option away from Missouri children.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.